So the next thing we'll be doing is working on the calendar. So let's go back to the home page. So for this part of the video, I want to show you my thought process when I want to install a new feature. I don't have any calendar plugin in mind, but I'm just going to look for one here. Let's go back home and let's go to my site, network admin, plugins. And we're going to find a calendar plugin we can use for his events and shows and whatever. So let's search for calendar. And we have some nice ones here. We have this Events Prime, the events calendar. I think I've used this one in the past. This one is looking good. I think we're going to try this one. Let's check more details. See screenshots. I like that one. So this looks very customizable. Let's check this one. This one is more like a booking calendar. So we need something like an events calendar. So let's check this one. This one looks good as well, but I think I'm going to try this one out. So let's install this. And I'm going to go to my site, Johntobi dashboard, and we're going to activate that plugin from there. So plugins and Event Prime activate. So let's add a new event. I'm going to add Lagos tour. Johntobi Lagos tour in Bariga. Lagos tour Bariga to Lekki. So let's start date. Let's set it as 22nd of August, and I'm going to end it on 31st. So bookings, you can set bookings, tickets. Bookings is not enabled, so we can't set tickets, but you have all those options with this, so you can experiment with that. So let's publish this, and I'll add a new event, and let's do the Cyrus and Friends show meets Johntobi at Osiris and Friends. So let's set this as a one-time event on the 16th, and let's publish this. Event end date cannot be less than the start date. So let's set the start date first and the end date to a later date, then make it an all-day event. So let's publish this. So we don't have tickets. I want to try out what the ticket looks like. I'm just going to disable tickets for this. Let's turn off bookings. If you want to experiment with that, you can experiment with that. And let's publish this. So let's see the options here. Short codes. We can enable this with short code. All events. Let's copy the short code. And let's go to the calendar. We have those two events there. Let's check settings. I think we should be able to edit this in Elementor as well. So front view. Let's go to Johntobi. Let's edit with Elementor. I'm done with the contact page. I'm done with the SVG. And on top of this, I'm just going to try to add in the event. So it doesn't have an Elementor widget. So we'll add in the short code. And let's see how this looks like. That's not showing in the editor. Let's publish and let's see if this makes any changes on the main website. So yeah, we have an events calendar there, and you can find events which looks nice. You can customize this to look how you want. I think you can do a lot of settings here. I'll go back to shortcode. Let's copy the shortcode. Let's just paste the full thing. Let's apply. Let's refresh this. And we have the slider there. So that's looking good. So yeah, that's how to work with events and set up events and an event calendar. So you can use the Eventbrite plugin and you have the flexibility of using shortcode, and even it has extendable settings that you can play with. So that looks nice. And yeah, that looks good. Nice. So let's get rid of this. I think I'm cool with the custom setting of events with Elementor because it's not going to be having lots of events. But if you ever want to set up custom events and booking, you can use a plugin like that one. So that's great. I'm going to remove that so everything looks clean, and let's publish. So we've checked how we can set up an event calendar, and the next thing we want to take a look at is the newsletter feature. So we'll move on to building the newsletter, and we're going to have a pop-up box like the one it asked for, something like this on the Omale website.